The minimum size of the service line that the utility brings to a house typically depends on local codes and regulations, as well as the load requirements of the home. In most cases, a utility will bring in a service line that is sized to handle the current load of the home and any reasonable future upgrades. For example, if a home has a 100 amps panel, the utility may install a 150 amps or 200 amp service line to allow for future upgrades. In Newport News, Virginia, the utility Dominion Energy charges for any upgrades to the service line. This includes increasing the size of the service line to accommodate future upgrades. To request an upgrade to the service line, contact Dominion Energy and provide the account number, the current size of the service line, the desired size of the upgraded service line, and the reason for the upgrade, such as adding a new appliance or future expansions. A technician will visit the property to assess the needs and provide a quote for the upgrade. The upgrade typically involves replacing the existing service line with a larger one, and in some cases, installing a new transformer. Understanding the factors that influence the sizing of your electrical service line is crucial for ensuring a safe and reliable power supply to your home. This involves considering both your current electrical needs and anticipating future expansions or increased demands. Firstly, the local electrical codes and regulations set the minimum standards for service line sizing. These codes are designed to ensure safety and prevent overloading of the electrical system. Secondly, the utility company, in this case Dominion Energy, also plays a significant role in determining the appropriate service line size. They will assess your current electrical load, taking into account the size of your home, the appliances you use, and any other electrical equipment you have. Thirdly, future upgrades and expansion should be considered when determining the service line size. If you plan to add new appliances, such as an electric vehicle charger or a hot tub, or if you anticipate expanding your home in the future, it's essential to factor in the additional electrical load. When contacting Dominion Energy to request a service line upgrade, be prepared to provide them with detailed information about your current and future electrical needs. This will help them accurately assess your requirements and provide you with an appropriate quote for the upgrade. The upgrade process typically involves replacing the existing service line with a larger one, which may require trenching and excavation work. In some cases, it may also be necessary to upgrade the transformer that supplies power to your home. The cost of a service line upgrade can vary depending on several factors, including the distance from the utility pole to your home, the complexity of the installation, and the cost of materials. It's important to obtain a detailed quote from Dominion Energy before proceeding with the upgrade. In addition to the cost of the upgrade itself, you may also need to factor in the cost of any necessary permits or inspections. It's also worth noting that a service line upgrade may require you to temporarily disconnect your power, so it's important to plan accordingly. Consulting with a qualified electrician can help you assess your electrical needs and determine the appropriate service line size for your home. An electrician can also assist you with the upgrade process and ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with local codes. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, so it's always best to leave it to the professionals. Upgrading your service line can provide you with peace of mind knowing that your home has enough electrical capacity to meet your current and future needs. It can also increase the value of your home and make it more attractive to potential buyers. Before making any decisions about upgrading your service line, it's important to carefully consider your options and weigh the costs and benefits. Talk to your utility company, consult with a qualified electrician, and do your research to make sure you're making the right choice for your home. Understanding the electrical load calculation is an important factor in determining the appropriate size of the service line. The electrical load calculation is a process of adding up all the electrical loads in your home to determine the total amount of power that you will be using. This includes lighting, appliances, heating, and air conditioning. The load calculation is typically expressed in amps or volt amps. To calculate the electrical load, you will need to know the wattage of each appliance and lighting fixture in your home. This information can usually be found on the appliance itself or in the owner's manual. Once you have the wattage, you can convert it to amps by dividing the wattage by the voltage. In the United States, The standard voltage for residential electrical service is 120 volts for lighting and small appliances, and 240 volts for large appliances such as refrigerators, ovens, and air conditioners. Once you have calculated the total electrical load in amps, you can use this information to determine the appropriate size of the service line. The service line should be sized to handle the total electrical load plus a safety factor. The safety factor is typically 25%. For example, if the total electrical load is 100 amps, then the service line should be sized to handle at least 125 amps. It's important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the service line is sized correctly. An electrician can also help you with the upgrade process and ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with local codes. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for sizing electrical service lines. NEC Table 310.15. B16 provides ampacity ratings for various conductor sizes based on their insulation type and installation method. These ampacity ratings are based on the conductor's ability to dissipate heat without exceeding its temperature rating. When sizing a service line, it's crucial to consider the type of conductors being used, the ambient temperature, and any dirtying factors that may apply due to bundling or other installation conditions. For example, if conductors are bundled together, their ampacity may need to be diluted to prevent overheating. The NEC also provides guidelines for sizing overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, which are designed to protect the electrical system from overloads and short circuits. The overcurrent protection device should be sized to protect the conductors and equipment it serves. In addition to the NEC, local codes and regulations may also impose additional requirements for service line sizing. It's important to check with your local building department to ensure that your electrical installation complies with all applicable codes. When upgrading a service line, it's often necessary to upgrade the meter socket as well. The meter socket is the device that connects the utility service line to your home's electrical panel. The meter socket must be rated for the amperage of the service line. If you are upgrading from a 100 amp service to a 200 amp service, you will need to replace the 100 amps meter socket with a 200 amps meter socket. The meter socket is typically installed by the utility company. When upgrading a service line, it's also important to consider the grounding system. The grounding system is designed to protect people from electrical shock. The grounding system must be properly installed and maintained to ensure its effectiveness. The grounding system typically consists of a ground rod or ground plate that is connected to the electrical panel. The ground rod or ground plate must be driven into the earth to a sufficient depth to provide a good electrical connection. The grounding system should be inspected regularly to ensure that it is in good condition. In addition to the grounding system, surge protection devices can also help protect your electrical system from damage caused by lightning or power surges. Surge protection devices are designed to divert excess voltage away from sensitive electronic equipment. Surge protection devices can be installed at the service entrance or at individual outlets. Power surges can damage or destroy electronic equipment, so it's important to protect your home from these events. When upgrading a service line, it's also important to consider the location of the electrical panel. The electrical panel should be located in a dry, accessible location. The electrical panel should not be located in a bathroom, closet, or other enclosed space. The electrical panel should be mounted securely to the wall. The electrical panel should be labeled clearly to identify the circuits. When upgrading a service line, it's also important to consider the type of wiring used in your home. Older homes may have aluminum wiring, which can be a fire hazard. If you have aluminum wiring, you should have it inspected by a qualified electrician. An electrician can determine if the aluminum wiring is safe or if it needs to be replaced. Replacing aluminum wiring can be expensive, but it's important to protect your home from fire hazards. When upgrading a service line, it's also important to consider the capacity of your electrical panel. The electrical panel should have enough capacity to handle all of the electrical loads in your home. If the electrical panel is too small, it can overload and cause a fire. The electrical panel should be sized to handle the total electrical load plus a safety factor. It's important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the electrical panel is sized correctly. Upgrading your service line can be a complex and expensive project, but it's important to ensure that your home has enough electrical capacity to meet your needs. By carefully considering all of the factors involved, you can make sure that the upgrade is done safely and correctly. Remember to consult with qualified professionals such as electricians in your utility company to guide you through the process. They can provide valuable insights and expertise to ensure a successful and safe electrical upgrade. It's important to understand that the information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with qualified professionals for specific recommendations and guidance related to your individual circumstances. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's crucial to prioritize safety at all times. Never attempt to perform electrical work yourself unless you are a qualified electrician. Ignoring safety precautions can result in serious injury or even death. Always disconnect power before working on any electrical equipment. Use appropriate safety gear, such as gloves and eye protection. Follow all applicable codes and regulations. If you are unsure about anything, consult with a qualified electrician. Electrical safety is paramount. Before starting any electrical project, make sure you have a clear understanding of the scope of work and the potential hazards involved. Plan your work carefully and take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. Electrical upgrades can significantly improve the safety and functionality of your home's electrical system. By investing in these upgrades, you can ensure that your home has enough electrical capacity to meet your current and future needs. You can also improve the energy efficiency of your home and reduce your carbon footprint. Electrical upgrades can also increase the value of your home. A modern, well-maintained electrical system is an attractive selling point for potential buyers. If you are planning to sell your home in the future, consider upgrading your electrical system to increase its value. Electrical upgrades can be a worthwhile investment for any homeowner. By carefully considering your needs and consulting with qualified professionals, you can make sure that the upgrades are done safely, correctly, and cost-effectively. Remember to prioritize safety, follow all applicable codes and regulations, and consult with qualified professionals for specific recommendations and guidance. By taking these steps, you can ensure that your electrical upgrades are a success. The process of upgrading your service line starts with planning and preparation. Assess your current and future electrical needs, gather information about local codes and regulations, and consult with qualified professionals. Once you have a clear understanding of your requirements, you can begin the process of obtaining permits and scheduling the work. Be prepared for potential disruptions to your power supply during the upgrade process. Coordinate with your utility company and electrician to minimize the downtime and ensure that the work is completed as quickly and efficiently as possible. After the upgrade is complete, inspect the work carefully to ensure that it meets all applicable codes and regulations. Test all of your electrical appliances and equipment to verify that they are functioning properly. Keep records of all work performed, including permits, inspections, and invoices. This documentation will be useful for future reference and for potential insurance claims. By following these steps, you can ensure that your service line upgrade is a smooth and successful process. Upgrading your service line is a significant investment that can provide numerous benefits. From improved safety and reliability to increased electrical capacity and energy efficiency, electrical upgrades can enhance the value and functionality of your home. By taking the time to plan carefully, consult with qualified professionals, and follow all applicable codes and regulations, you can ensure that your electrical upgrades are a success. This is especially important to do before adding any high-power usage items such as an electric vehicle charger. These chargers can easily use 40 to 80 amps and overload a system.